and reduce our dependency on the pharmaceutical industrial complex. Does anybody really need an explanation as to what the pharmaceutical industrial complex is? Show of hands. No, we're cool, right? All right. So yoga teacher trainings are available in most major cities. It costs approximately, I'm sorry, you were grabbing your soda. I thought you were raising your hand. Costs about $2,000 to do a 200-hour yoga teacher training, which can provide you with a basic foundation in the discipline of yoga. When you study yogic anatomy, it teaches you a lot about bodily structure, which in turn can help you if you want to study something like Tai Chi. If you just study Tai Chi, you might be a little slower if you're not really very keen on the proper bodily structure. So once you completed yoga teacher training, you'll be a certified yoga instructor. If you work hard, you would have the ability to kind of build a community around preventing disease using yoga and another way to promote alternative medicine would be Tai Chi in the park. China has more or less established that Yan-style Tai Chi is sort of China's gift to the world. If you go find a Tai Chi school, many Tai Chi instructors offer private lessons. You can learn the Yan-style Tai Chi hand form, and you can do, because it's just a cultural thing. The Tai Chi practitioners practice Tai Chi in the park. This is a way of promoting Tai Chi, which goes a long way to prevent physical illness. What I recommend is, if you try to do Tai Chi in the park, you should buy a juicer, because juice, raw, fresh juice, is actually going to infuse your body with Qi. So when you perform the Tai Chi, the energy's, you're going to have like a lot of energy, and you're going to circulate it through your body, and you'll feel really good. And this is a great way to advertise maintenance of your personal health. 7 years ago, when I started Chinese Qigong, I was on the verge of being borderline diabetic. As you notice, I'm not thin. By the practice of Chinese Qigong, I've actually managed to regulate my blood sugar and reverse the process of, I have a history of diabetes in my family. Chinese Qigong has pretty much prevented me from becoming diabetic. You can build communities around yoga and Tai Chi, just the practice. And when you minister to the health needs of the community, and you're doing them a service, fundraising. I actually created a guide called DIY Performing Arts Fundraiser Guide, and if anybody wants it, just see me after the talk. There's 100 ways to raise money to fund your yoga community. Performing arts just being one. Just whatever you do. If you're a painter or a botanist, you do a flower show. Whatever you like to do, you can incorporate that into fundraising for your vegan yoga community. Now I want to talk a little bit about welfare versus abolition. This is a big debate in the animal rights community. Animal welfare seems to be, too weak, not really promoting the necessary solutions to alleviate the suffering that animals face. However, it does serve to mainstream the concept of animal liberation. Whereas abolition, being more direct, has I think the abolitionists are a little outnumbered to have such strong rhetoric. And so what I'm advocating is a sort of a gradual abolition where we're not saying bigger cages, but at the same time we're not making very grandiose threats that are a little difficult to back up. I'm going to skip that for right now and just go to the end because I'm short on time. So like I said, it's sort of like a canal effect. You want to set a series of small goals with each progressively working towards the general abolition of animal research. So we have disease prevention is just one. It's just one part of the puzzle. The idea is alternative models have to be accepted. Right now, animal researchers are sort of like animals backed into a wall. They don't have a real exit strategy. And if you want to end vivisection, you have to give animal researchers an exit. And that exit, in my mind, is finding alternative models in addition to preventative measures. So you need to get animal researchers to admit that it's physically possible to completely work on alternative models. So what I was suggesting for civil disobedience is we need a vegan research department. We have to get one university, target one liberal university with a credible science department, use their liberal beliefs against them. Tell them it's like, hey, wait a minute. Not use any violence at all, but just be like, wait a minute. You stand for free speech. This is free speech. You can't oppose us. And just keep wearing at them until finally they decide to get their science department to work only on developing alternative models to animal models. So, finally, people need to start forming investment groups because there have to be investors lined up. When a university finally agrees to devote itself only to developing non-animal models, there have to be investors lined up to back this new effort. And sorry for the abridged version. It would have been a little better if I think it's partially my fault. I don't think I calculated the time myself very well. Thank you very much. And